Namaste. Good evening from India. I, Dr. Snigdha Kadam, Chief Operating Officer and Director Academics Global of the International Internship University, welcome all our worldwide audience, learners, and educators for the Day 22 of NEP webinar series by the Galaxy of Expert Indian Educationists. NEP webinar series is an initiative by the founder of the International Internship University, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, to revolutionize the education. Piyush Pandit Sir always had a dream to provide education to every learner across the world. He believes that world is changing drastically, so there is a need to make changes in the education system. With this thought, Piyush Pandit Sir concocted the world's first digital internship university, International Internship University, IIU, in the year 2020. IIU is providing quality, skill-based, affordable, accessible, location-independent, and skill-based digital education to all the learners across the globe, along with internship opportunities and research facilities through its 1,000 plus virtual courses to all the learners across the globe through the platform of massive open online courses with the aim of promoting internship opportunities. IIU has been accredited and affiliated with the World Education Organization and International Accreditation Organization and collaborated with all the world's top universities and educational institutions. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents with a team of 1,000 plus experienced and qualified global educators across the world. IIU is registered in India, Australia, Nepal, and with USA government. IIU provides honorary degrees, diplomas, certificate courses, professional education, customized program, free courses, sustainable development goal courses, non-academic courses, blockchain technology lab, and many more. Universities are known for giving degrees, diplomas, and various other courses. But Piyush Pandit Sir, with his conscious efforts, changed the trend of the education system by starting a world's first internship-based virtual university, the International Internship University, by opening the doors of knowledge and education to the learners across the world without any hurdles. The great personality, the founder of IIU, has introduced the World Education Policy through the digital university to have equal rights of education for each learner of the globe. WEP, one education, one foundation, one world. IIU has taken the initiative to reach every learner in the rural as well as urban areas through the Vidyanjali project, an initiative by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, to provide education as well as vocational training along with the internship university opportunities. Indeed, IIU is the revolution in the education. There is always that one person who has the vision, the thought, the idea behind a successful venture and organization. And if we talk about the man behind the success of IIU, is none other than our respected founder of IIU, Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to the students from various social and cultural backgrounds, possessing excellent administrative and verbal communication and written skills. He is a next-gen speaker and passionate writer. The versatile Piyush Pandit Sir is the founder of Swarna Bharat Parivar Trust, and he is the chairman of the Piyush Group. This multi-talented and devoted personality has received a plethora of awards and recognition and honors in the acknowledgement of his contribution to the social work, education, entrepreneurship, and so on. The least of his milestone is endless. The sky is the limit for his dedication and hard work. What a pleasure to have creator of IIU World, Piyush Pandit Sir, to be here today on 22nd day of NEP webinar series by the International Internship University. Dear Sir, we welcome you with a round of applause. Sir, you are requested to enlighten the gathering with your valuable thoughts. The platform is all yours. Sir, please guide us.
Thank you so much. और मैं चाहता हूं मैं हिंदी में आप लोगों के सामने आप लोगों के लिए कुछ अच्छा बोल दूं आज। हमारे आपके बीच में हमारे सीनियर श्री रवि कुमार केएस सर हैं, जो काफी दिनों से हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं। मैं आपका सर स्वागत करता हूं। आज ये हमारा एनईपी का 22वां दिन है, 22nd डे है, और मैं आप सभी प्रतिष्ठित शिक्षकों, शिक्षाविदों को संबोधित करते हुए मुझे खुशी हो रही है। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति भारत सरकार द्वारा आत्मनिर्भर भारत की दिशा में एक क्रांतिकारी कदम है। ये हम भी जानते हैं और आप सभी लोग अच्छे से काफी दिनों पे इस पे चर्चाएं कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग तरीके से अपने पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रख रहे हैं कि इसको हम प्रैक्टिस में ला सकें प्रॉपर तरीके से। अपना संबोधन शुरू करने से पहले मैं आप सभी लोगों को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि ये संभव तभी हो पाया है जब आप सभी लोग एक साथ एक मंच पर लगातार एक एक दिन मेहनत करते चले आए। अभी एक छोटी सी रिपोर्ट आई है आईटी टीम के माध्यम से, करीब 1.5 लाख से ज्यादा लोगों ने एनईपी का ये सेशन 22 दिन तक आप लोगों का सुना है। इसके लिए आप सभी लोगों को धन्यवाद मेरी तरफ से। अब मैं सबका नाम ले लूं एक बार, क्योंकि मुझे खुशी होगी। सोनल झा मैम, आपका धन्यवाद। आप काफी दिनों से हमारा सपोर्ट कर रही हैं, प्लस अपनी नॉलेज, अपनी लेखनी के भी माध्यम से हम लोगों को एनलाइटन कर रही हैं। मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दूंगा। सोनिया मैम है हमारे साथ में, डॉक्टर सोनिया मैम, मैं आपका भी धन्यवाद यहाँ से देता हूँ। हमारी सीनियर और हम लोगों की प्रेरणा स्रोत मैम रश्मि त्यागी जी हम लोगों के बीच में हैं, मैं आपको भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ। सुधाकर सर हैं, अभी डायरेक्ट हमारा परिचय नहीं है, लेकिन कोशिश करूंगा कि सर सेशन के बाद मैं आपसे भी कुछ आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करूं। कोच अभी श्रीवास्तव जी हैं, लिंक्डइन पे हमारे साथ हैं। काफी अच्छा आप कर रहे हैं और आप बहुत आगे जाएं, ऐसी शुभकामना, और हम लोग भी साथ कुछ बेहतर करें, ऐसी उम्मीद करेंगे हम लोग। रवि सर का नाम पहले ही ले चुका हूँ। रवि सर हमारे बाबा जी की याद दिलाते हैं मुझे, और मैं आश्रम से बिलोंग करता हूँ। मेरी शिक्षा दीक्षा जो है मैक्सिमम आश्रम में हुई है। बात की हायर एजुकेशन का जो एजुकेशन है वो कहीं बाहर जाके हुआ, अदरवाइज सारी शिक्षा जो है वैदिक सिस्टम के थ्रू हुई है आश्रम में। तो रवि सर आपको देखने के बाद हमारे आश्रम की हमें याद आती है, और धन्यवाद आपका। अश्वनी मैम है हमारे साथ, बहुत दिनों से जुड़ी हैं। अश्वनी और मेरा एक कोइंसिडेंट है कि वो भी 27 जुलाई को बॉर्न की है और मैं भी 27 को ही। ठीक है, तो मैं चाहता हूँ आप लगातार कंटिन्यू, जब तक हम इस मिशन में कामयाब ना हो जाएं कि वर्ल्ड वाइड एजुकेशन को हम फ्री करें, और फ्री के साथ साथ इक्वल करने की कोशिश करें। जो लक्ष्य है हम लोगों का धन अर्जित करने का नहीं है, बल्कि वर्ल्ड वाइड एजुकेशन को एक मेथड में ले आने की कोशिश हम कर रहे हैं। वर्ल्ड एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, अभी हम लोग चर्चा कर रहे हैं नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की। बेसिकली ये जो पॉलिसी है, वैसी ही पॉलिसी हर देश में है। ऑस्ट्रेलिया की अपनी एनईपी है, न्यूजीलैंड की अपनी है, यूरोपियन सभी कंट्रियों की अपनी एनईपी है, और भारत देश की अपनी एनईपी है। दुर्भाग्य हमारे देश का ये है कि हमारे देश में हर एक राज्य में अलग अलग बोर्ड होते हैं। प्राइवेट स्कूल की भरमार है भारत में, तो सरकारी स्कूल की भरमार है। सरकारें नियम बनाती हैं एनईपी जैसे बड़े कार्यक्रमों का कि आपको हर एक स्कूल में लॉन्च करना है, इसको लागू करना है, हर एक कॉलेज में लागू करना है, लेकिन आसानी से वो सरकारी स्कूल्स में लागू नहीं हो पाता। ये सब चीजों पे बहुत बड़ा एक चर्चा का विषय है, और चाहे वो भारत सरकार हो, चाहे वो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर की सारी सरकारें हैं, उनको हम लोग अपनी तरफ से अपने सुझाव दे रहे हैं। डॉक्टर शिवानी साहनी जी हैं, मैम आपका भी ढेर सारी आपको शुभकामनाएं, और निश्चित तौर पे हम लोग आगे भी मिलकर साथ काम करेंगे। सुनील श्रीवास्तव जी हैं, मैं आपका भी धन्यवाद करता हूँ। नीलिमा जी हैं, के पी एस टी नीलिमा जी हैं, मैं आपका भी धन्यवाद। श्रीकांत वास्ते साहब आपका भी, और प्रोफेसर राघवेंद्र सर हैं हम लोगों के बीच में, शायद वीडियो ऑन नहीं है उनका, लेकिन मैं आपको भी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ। इंटरनेशनल टीम में से इरमिना हमारे साथ में है, कोर मेंबर हैं हमारे आईआईयू में, फ्रॉम रोमानिया। आपका भी वेलकम करता हूं मैं। और डॉक्टर इनका जी हैं हमारे साथ में जॉर्जिया से, मैं उनका भी स्वागत करता हूं। कोर मेंबर में नादा रातकोविक हैं, और मैं आपका भी मैम बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। कार्यक्रम में आप लोगों को हिंदी सीखना पड़ेगा बहुत जल्दी, क्योंकि अगर मुझे सुनना है तो। और साथ ही साथ इस कार्यक्रम की सूत्रधार जो आप लोगों के साथ हमेशा कम्युनिकेशन में रही हैं, हमेशा आप लोगों का साथ दे रही हैं, वो हैं डॉक्टर स्निग्धा कदम। मैं उनको भी धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आज आप समापन तिथि पर मुझे भी आपने इनवाइट किया, और मौका मिला मुझे बोलने का। तो एनईपी जहां तक मेरी समझ है सिर्फ प्राइवेट स्कूल्स के लिए नहीं है, वो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में होनी चाहिए। और किसी भी सरकार की योजना तब सफल मानी जाती है जब उसके खुद के कैंपस में वो चीजें बहुत अच्छे तरीके से चले। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 में शिक्षा के माध्यम से रूप में मातृभाषा और स्थानीय भाषा के उपयोग पर बल दिया गया है, जो मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों के बीच में भी रखने का। मेरा दृढ़ विश्वास है कि मातृभाषा में शिक्षा से शिक्षण अधिगम में काफी हद तक सुधार होगा। एनईपी व्यवहारिक ज्ञान पर आधारित है, यानी प्रैक्टिकल बेस्ड है, इंटर्नशिप बेस्ड है, इसलिए यहाँ छात्रों को किसी समस्या का हल करने के लिए गहराई से और विभिन्न कोणों से सोचने में मदद करेगा। और वास्तविक दुनिया की समस्याओं को संभालने में इस तरह का व्यवहारिक ज्ञान बहुत उपयोगी होता है, ये आप सभी लोग पहले से ही जानते हैं। एक एग्जाम्पल है, जब हम लोग पढ़ाई करते थे तो प्रैक्टिकल हुआ करता था हर एक साइंस में, कि हर एक विषय पे जो आपने पढ़ा है उसका प्रैक्टिकल करना है। तो प्रैक्टिकल ही जो है आज हमारी एनईपी में एक फोकस किया गया है, चाहे वो इंटर्नशिप की बात गवर्नमेंट कर रही हो, चाहे वो हमें व्यवहारिक ज्ञान लाने की बात करी। आईआईओ ने एनईपी के अनुसार पहले ही कदम उठा लिए थे। एनईपी तो 2020 में अप्रोक्सीमेटली आया है, और ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में हम स्टेम प्रयोगशाला परियोजनाओं और डिजिटल शिक्षा के साथ भारत में वंचित वर्ग और विभिन्न अन्य स्कूलों के साथ शुरुआत हमने बहुत पहले से ही कर रखी है। हमने वंचितों को गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा प्रदान करने के लिए सरकार की जो विद्यांजलि परियोजना है उसमें अपना एक अथक प्रयास किया है, और सरकार को एक प्राइवेट संस्थान की तरफ से आईआईयू का सबसे ज्यादा समर्थन मिलता है, जिसको हम पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, झारखंड, बंगाल जैसे राज्यों में हर एक स्कूल में चला रहे हैं आज। एनईपी बचपन की देखभाल और शिक्षा और फाउंडेशन साक्षरता और संख्यात्मक पर केंद्रित है। आईआईयू ने ईसीसी शिक्षकों ग्रीष्मकालीन शिविरों के लिए प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम शुरू किए हैं, और प्री स्कूल स्थापित करने के लिए हम मार्गदर्शन भी प्रदान करते हैं। प्री स्कूल बहुत जरूरी है। एनईपी ही बात ना की जाए, अगर हम करिकुलम एक्टिविटीज की बात करें या करिकुलम होने या ना होने की बात करें, तो भारत एक ऐसा राज्य है जहाँ पे आंगनवाड़ी केंद्रों में करिकुलम क्या होना चाहिए आज तक वो डिसाइड नहीं हो पाया है। खाली उत्तर प्रदेश का मैं आपको डेटा बता देता हूँ, 1 लाख से ज्यादा आंगनवाड़ी केंद्र हैं। सरकार का 1 लाख रुपए मिनिमम एक महीने में खर्च होता है एक आंगनवाड़ी केंद्र पर, और वहां पे बच्चों को गाइडेंस क्या मिलना है, पढ़ाना क्या है, इसकी कोई भी तैयारी नहीं है। तो सरकार से भी मांग करता हूँ आप लोगों के माध्यम से कि सरकार अर्ली चाइल्डहुड पे विशेष तौर पे ध्यान दें। एनईपी शिक्षा का सार्वभौमिक करेगा, यानी कि हर जगह पे इसको पहुंचाने का काम करेगा। भारत जो है वैश्विक ज्ञान यानी कि ग्लोबल एजुकेशन का हब बनेगा, अगर एनईपी को सही तरीके से लागू किया जाए तो। आईआईयू में हम शिक्षा के पारंपरिक और आधुनिक तरीकों को अपनाकर विश्वव्यापी शिक्षा में क्रांति लाने के लिए समांतर काम कर रहे हैं। सभी शिक्षार्थियों को एक छत के नीचे लाने के लिए हमने विश्व शिक्षा नीति यानी डब्ल्यूईपी का निर्माण किया है। जल्द ही मैं डब्ल्यूईपी समिति की घोषणा करूंगा, जिसमें उम्मीद करूंगा कि आज जितने लोग मुझे यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं उनमें से कुछ लोगों को मौका मिले। डब्ल्यूईपी एक ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसके माध्यम से हम विश्व की शिक्षा को एक जैसी बनाने का प्रयास करेंगे। भारत में भी कितने बोर्ड्स हैं, सारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम अलग हैं। साउथ के बच्चों का माइंडसेट अलग है, नॉर्थ के बच्चों का माइंडसेट अलग है, ईस्ट के बच्चों का माइंडसेट अलग है, और देश एक है। भारत एक है, भारत में ही शिक्षा का ढेर सारा एक अलग ऊपर नीचे, कहीं यूपी के बच्चे अलग तरीके से, बिहार के बच्चे अलग तरीके से, उनका एजुकेशन सिस्टम ही अलग हो जाता है। तो जब बात एनईपी की होती है कि पूरे विश्व भारत की एजुकेशन पॉलिसी एक जैसी होनी चाहिए, तो ऑब्वियसली बोर्ड की भी जो संस्थापना बार बार होती जा रही, नई नई बोर्ड्स बनते जा रहे हैं, बोर्ड भी एक होने की कोशिश करें, एक जैसा करिकुलम हो, एक जैसा पढ़ाई हो और एक जैसी सुविधाएं मिले। आने वाले समय में हम ये 22 दिन का जो हम लोगों ने अपना ज्ञानार्जन किया है एक दूसरे के बीच में, मैं पूरा प्रयास करूंगा कि इस पे एक एक्सरसाइज बुक लॉन्च हो, और आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है। आप जिस चैप्टर पे आपको लगता है कि आप अच्छा लेख अपने प्रस्तुत कर सकते हैं, जल्दी ही हम आपको एक्सरसाइज बुक प्रस्तुत करेंगे, और एक बहुत ही शानदार बुक जो एनईपी की प्रैक्टिस और लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए, अवेयरनेस के लिए जो बुक बनेगी। एनईपी यानी कि एनईपी क्या है, पढ़ने के लिए सिर्फ एक बुक काफी होनी चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ आप लोग करके दें जिसको हम लोग प्रिंट आउट करवाते हैं, पब्लिश करवाते हैं, और पूरे भारत देश में उसको बंटवाने का प्रयास करते हैं। मेरी तरफ से समय का अभाव रहता है, मैं आप लोगों के बीच में बहुत कम रहता हूँ, तो इसके लिए मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ, लेकिन आज मैं आप लोगों के बीच में हूँ। मेरा प्रयास है कि मैं पूरी बातें आप लोगों की सुनूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एक बार फिर से इतना शानदार कार्यक्रम आयोजित करने के लिए। खाली होने के बाद मैं कोशिश जरूर करता हूँ, सारी रिकॉर्डिंग्स देखता हूँ। थैंक यू सो मच टू ऑल ऑफ यू एंड होप।
Please sir, 1 minute.
जी सर,
Sorry for the interruption. My Professor
धन्यवाद
Raghavendra.
सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
जी जी, हाँ राघवेंद्र सर प्लीज। राघवेंद्र सर आप म्यूट हैं, आप प्लीज अनम्यूट करके अपनी बात रखें।
Congratulations, Mr. Piyush sir, because national education policy come to the force in 2020. I learned that IIU come to the force in 2020. You did a good job. My best congrats.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। आप लोगों का गाइडेंस ही आईआईयू को दिन प्रतिदिन आगे बढ़ा
You
रहा
are
है।
the wonderful team. You are the wonderful team. My best congrats to all your team members.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Piyush sir. You have really enlightened the gathering with your valuable thoughts. Great words by great visionary Piyush sir. Your presence have enhanced the glory of today's webinar. Now let's proceed further. The National Education Policy was released under the Government of India's Ministry of Human Resource Development on July 30th, 2020, the first education policy to be released in the last 34 years in India. National Education Policy aims to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower by making both school, college education more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, and suited to 21st century needs and aimed at bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. NEP 2020 is to educate, encourage, and enlighten. NEP is indeed a monumental step for the education industry. NEP spelled out education as being fundamental to human development and the high quality learning opportunities that nation must provide to its young minds to prepare them for the future. NEP 2020 introduced with the purpose of bringing about path-breaking reforms in the Indian education system is a blueprint for an Atmanirbhar India. I think it is about time that school leaders across the country embrace the digital aspect of learning and use it to optimize it in the class at home with the learning experience. NEP will certainly help transform India into an active learning nation by making both school college education more comprehensive, adaptable, and flexible. The new national education policy is the first holistic reform that aims to complete change in education at all the levels in the school. The first of its kind since the Constitution of India was created more than 7 decades ago. The NEP can be seen as a continuing of the ideals principles listed out in the Constitution, as the NEP itself claims to build an equitable, inclusive, and plural society as envisaged in the Constitution. It will certainly bring a new era in the education so that no child will be left behind. NEP will shift memorization to learning to learn, fostering a new generation of thinkers. More focus on art subjects, extracurricular activities will help to create a more diverse society. The NEP will also cover the importance of foundation learning and early childhood education. The another aspect of NEP is the creation of the Gender Inclusive Fund. It focuses on the use of technology and commitment to address the digital divide. NEP includes holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging learning. So today, we have eminent educators from all different parts, all different states of India. Yes, indeed, rather I would say today we have the galaxy of educators with us who will put light on the review of the NEP, who will discuss with us, who will share their thoughts, their feeling about the NEP. So herein, I would like to welcome on the platform our very first speaker, Dr. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am, a seasoned educationist, CBSE master trainer, Navodaya Vidyalaya master trainer, science communicator, environment activist. She has taken a doctorate in chemistry from IIT Roorkee, master in education from Mumbai University, trained as a principal at IIM Bangalore, and resource person at NITA Colombo, Sri Lanka, resource person Oxford University Press. Yes, dear Rashmi ma'am, the platform is all yours. Please take the lead.
Namaskar, everyone. It's my proud privilege, as usual, that I'm on this great platform. It is an international platform. And I always say for education that we feel, Indians feel, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that the whole world is one family. Not only that, our educational fraternity, that is one family. हम सब एक ही परिवार के सदस्य हैं, और that is why we have to work together to have this education, the transformed education. See, we were educated in the traditional method of education, and now for last 20 years, I should say that these transformations in education, they were taking place, but they were not being implemented, and it was not felt by the people that really the transformations are taking place. But after two things, one is the pandemic, it has come, and because of that, digitalization of the education has taken place overnight. And second, the onset of National Education Policy 2020 has reminded everybody that the change is in the offing and we have to change it. छोड़ो कल की बातें, कल की बात पुरानी, नए दौर में लिखे हम एक नई कहानी. This is a song from a very good movie, an old movie, and I think that it is really suitable for present educational system. And why not? How much time we had taken to change, because when we were studying, okay, fine, we have done the doctorates and then we became the professors and the teachers in the school, we became the teacher, and so many students have passed out under our guidance. And then, you can say that 2015, we can say that we are experiencing these changes, but they were not really taking place. But this NEP 2020, it has come on the right time, and I'm sure that with the everybody's efforts, it is going to give very good results. And at this time, I will just say that the IIU University and the efforts of the team of the great educationist Piyush Pandit ji, and he's a visionary, I should say, because he is feeling the need that whatever are the things which are in the NEP 2020, they should be given to everyone, and they should reach all the educators, not only in India, but abroad also. And as he said that all the boards are different in India, and maybe, there is some diversity in the educational system all over the world, but still, I will say unity in diversity. Anekta mein ekta. So that is our education. शिक्षा में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अनेकता होने के बावजूद भी हम सब एक हैं, और नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी उस एकता को ही हम सबको उसी में एक जैसे माला में मोती होते हैं, and there are so many flowers in a garland. In the same way, we have got this national education policy, which is having different aspect of the education. And I will just congratulate IIU University and the team, Mr. Piyush Pandit, and then Dr. Snigdha Kadam, and the foreign educators, and also the team. I don't remember right now the name of everybody, but I am congratulating everyone because they have done a wonderful job. And even, I learned so much from them. So this type of, national educational policy discussions have not taken place anywhere. I am just attending so many webinars, higher studies and school level and international webinars, and even abroad also. But I have not found that any one of them have done this type of activity, the, more than 20 days of training, the different, aspects, like I told you, the different, pearls in a garland, it is taken up that way. And it has definitely given the knowledge which was to be given to every one of us and the people who are listening to us. And it is a great job, I should say. And now the next thing is the implementation of this national education policy. And I hope and I request the team and Piyush sir that we should do something about the implementation of it in different schools. And as far as I know, people are not having that kind of a depth in the implementing part of it. So we can even do more awareness among the teachers, because the teachers are going to implement it. So we should include teachers also in the implementation program. And we have to keep on doing this as long as possible, like for another 2-3 years, doing the awareness and then the implementation. And we should try that the boards there should be a uniformity in the curriculum, in the syllabus, and in the boards. And somehow we should do that. And so much Dr. Snigdha Kadam has talked about NEP 2020, so many aspects of it, the pedagogies and, the adult education, and then framework, and, how much ICT is into it. So I need not discussing all that. And it is a great work, and it is the need of the hour, and we should continue doing it as long as possible. And I will thank every one of you, the great educationists who have done this great task. It is definitely a great task. I want to congratulate and thank everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rashmi ma'am. As you said just now, like implementation is really needed. But let me add on this. We at IIU are already in the process of implementation of NEP. Rather, we have already started with that. For example, STEM lab setup, digital education to rural schools and the underprivileged schools. So we are in the process. Thank you so much for your inputs. Now, I would like to call upon Ravi Kumar KS sir. He is an army veteran carrying nearly 4.5 decades of experience behind him. He has served in the Indian Army as a telecom and radio engineer for 3 decades, and post which he has dedicated his service with utmost devotion in upskilling the rural and semi-urban folks in English language, communication, and interpersonal skills, followed by employability skills, MS Office, career counseling. He is also an expert in BFSI, retail, FMCG, automobile, mind mapping, SWOT, automobile, and many more domains. He has trained more than 80,000 students and nearly 10,000 employees across the India. That includes government, non-government organizations. Of late, he has counseled nearly 50 plus students for choosing and developing their career in the respective areas of interest and their existing skill set. Indeed, today we have a great personality, Ravi Kumar sir. Herein, I would like to add on one point. Ravi Kumar sir is there with us from the day one for each and every session of the NEP. So thank you so much, Ravi Kumar sir. Your presence itself was so motivating for us. I think sir deserves a round of applause. So dear sir, the platform is all yours.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction, Dr. Snigdha ma'am. So first of all, I would like to thank the platform, that is International Internship University, IIU, and its founder, I would rather say, name him as the very much dedicated and the devoted founder of IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, who is the whole soul responsible person and who has taken the entire weight on his shoulders to run this internship university across the globe, and is one of the backbone who has created this wonderful platform for telecasting, I would say, rather than making it on an online platform. It's almost getting telecasted all over the globe about the Indian National Education Policy 2020. My heartfelt thanks and gratitude unto you, sir. And I would also love to thank each and every speaker who have delivered their beautiful and a wonderful and an amazing insights of learning to many lakhs and lakhs of people across the globe from day one, that is from 5th of August of 2022 till date. And I am also thankful and I extend my gratitude to the platform IIU for really giving me the opportunity to be present on each and every day for the webinar series of National Education Policy 2020. In fact, it has given me such an wide and very large opportunity for me to learn many things on this platform each and every day for more than 2.5 hours. So it was a great learning opportunity for me. So as far as the national education policy we are talking about, though I feel the national education policy, which is more focusing on the ECC, that is the early childhood care and education, which is being focused, but I think it needs to be brought into implementation all across the country as early as possible. Because the vision of the NEP 2020, which is that by 2030, the entire country should have the 50% of the, what do you call it, as holistic educated population in India, the student population in India. If that needs to come up now, at least the best for starting the ECCE at all the levels, whether it is a district level or a state level or even a taluk or even a gram panchayat level. I feel that this needs to be implemented at each and every corner of the country, that even the gram panchayat should start the early childhood care education, give much more concern towards it and should be much more serious towards it, so that as all of us know that we water and manure the plant to its roots, not to its branches or its stem. So that if the root is strong, the tree will stand erect, strong and strengthy. So if we start finding or making the root base very strong, that means the ECCE is the root of NEP 2020. If that is being made into concrete and if it is implemented to a concrete level, then I feel the vision and mission of NEP 2020 for the next decade, that is 2030, would really be a very fruitful one. And also, talking from ECCE to the professional course, higher secondary education, and to the professional course, we have come across many shifts in the thing. A lot of learning, a lot of implementations are planned. Rightly, like as Rashmi ma'am was saying, I would second her in this, the implementations of these things at the right level, whether it is elementary or primary or higher education, or it is even a professional education, the implementation of the policy, that is inducting the practicability of the academic knowledge into the mindsets of the children, is very important. So I would rather prefer to say that more of the laboratory types of education is being opened or is being planned and set up in each and every educational institutions, so that the children can avail more opportunities to get into the practical knowledge of it, practical learning of it. One more concern really, which was there in my mind from day one till today, is that it was all about the last day's topic, that was the paradigm shift. So India's National Education Policy 2020 has brought in many a paradigm shift in the learning arena. But I'm very much concerned, but nowhere it is talked about the commercial structures of the NEP 2020. What should be the fee structure? The fee structure should be common to all, whether it is a private school, whether autonomous or non-autonomous. The capitation fee should be a fixed one to all across the country, so that only then the mission of NEP 2020, that is, every child from the nook and corner of the country gets education. It can happen only then it can happen if there is a single fee structure, a single capitation fee structure is implied each and everywhere. Because with my experience all across, it has been seen that with the same facilities, same infrastructures, and the same set of education, of course, most probably the educators or the faculties might be changed from place to place, but the curriculum is the same, the syllabus is the same, the infrastructures are also same, but the huge variation in the fee structure as well as the capitation fee. That needs to be looked into by the national government, and that needs to be incorporated in the NEP 2020, because though there are 5 to 6 regulatory boards that have been framed in NEP 2020, even this board should also be framed and it should be brought into implications very stringently. So this is another thing. And also, as we were talking about the higher education and higher education and professional education system that is being done here, the bringing in the Ayush, basic knowledge of Ayush into medical core students is a major step that has been brought in 2020, so that there is no discrimination or between an MBBS graduate or a BDMS graduate or a homeopathic doctor. So if this comes in together, allopathy, homeopathy, and what all the pathis are there, excepting for Draupadi, rest all could be brought in together. And if that could be implemented in the near future at the earliest, even the professional courses or the professional education can also be looked into at one level. And bringing in the legal education into the forum of professional education is another milestone. I would love to say that earlier 3 years of law after taking a basic graduation or an undergraduation, 2 years of LLB or BL was there. Now making it into 3 years or integrated 5 years course is a major step. But even in that, and this education policy set up a practical experiential learning laboratories for this legal education system. Can this be done? Is there a thought or is there a plan over that? That has not been elaborated or that has not been discussed at all. With all these things, if we, the educators, as one, and as the ambassadors for the education, I would say ambassadors for education, इसलिए कि हम लोग सभी मिलके अगर हम एक दिशा में चलें, देश भी एक ही दिशा में चल सकती है और उस दिशा में हम हर एक बच्चे को सही ढंग का और सही रास्ता दिखा करके सही ढंग का क्या दे सकते हैं. So that's what I would like to say, and this I would really congratulate IIU for creating such a wonderful platform. And also, this is another milestone for NEP 2020 that it has already crossed 2 years, and its vision of implementing or passing out of the first set of batches of NEP 2020 by the year 2025. The first set of students will pass out by the year 2025. That is another milestone, but we have to look at that milestone, looking at what is the percentage of outcome, the practical learning outcome or the experiential learnings outcome in that batch. So is the employability percentage has been increased from the past decade to this decade. So that needs to be taken care. And also in the experiential learning, I would also recommend that the industries, the respective industries rather, should join hands with the educationists and collaborate with the educational institutions to provide this internship education in the college or in the educational institutions itself, rather than children going in between, living up there or giving up there or breaking up their academic sessions and going to internships to the respective industry. The industrialists, they can spare 1 or 2 respective persons to the colleges to come and give the internship knowledge and the internship training to those children, so that they will not miss out that education gap. They will not be having a break in the education. This also needs to be taken care. With this, I would love to congratulate each and everyone here for really presenting their knowledge, sharing their knowledge, presenting their wonderful presentations all over these days for the last 20 odd days. I would love to congratulate our founders, Piyush Pandit sir, Nada ma'am, and all the members of IIU, and especially my special thanks and gratitude to Dr. Snigdha ma'am, who really was appreciating me for each and everywhere. And she, in fact, she was telling that I was motivating the forum. In fact, she was the person, one who motivated me or one who inspired me to attend each and every session without missing even a single day's session. So because of which, learn a lot of learning knowledge here. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't have any words to say anything, but thank you so much and really great inputs by you. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Raghavendra sir, a biodiversity scientist, professor, and head of the Department of PG Studies, Research Methodology and Biostatistics, Dhanvantari Ayurveda College, Karnataka, an author, a trainer, a coordinator, who have received many recognitions at the national and international level. Professor Raghavendra sir, the stage is all yours.
Good evening to all. This is Professor Raghavendra from Karnataka, India. 2 minutes before start my session, a great congrats to IIU, because I already wished the same thing to Ms. Piyush, the founder of IIU. IIU is found, I learned that it was in 2020, right? National Education Policy introduced in 2020. So this is a coincidence. My congrats to Piyush and his the great team. Number one. Number two, Dr. Snigdha madam, best congrats to you, because the day one you have the interaction with me and you only really given me a motivation to give an NEP review, as you identified me as an noted educationist. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your the motivated words for me to attend today's session. Yeah, I got the great opportunity to meet my co-speaker, Dr. Rashmi Madam. Dr. Rashmi Tyagi Madam, thank you very much for enlightening the today's review session. Of course, Dr. Ravi Kumar sir, really a great words heard from today's evening session. Really, I'm very much happy to hear your words. Let us share a few words. I don't want to make me as a speaker in the review. The Union Cabinet, chaired by the Prime Minister, they approved the National Education Policy 2022 on July 29. Today is the day, 25 months before National Education Policy introduced. Really, IAU selected a great day to conclude this session. My best congrats to IAU again. It outlines the National Education Policy, the vision of the Indian's new education system, the new policy that replaces the previous national policy on education in 1986. Please make a correction if the year may wrong. This is the implementation of this new education policy 2020. The new policy replaces the previous national policy on education in 1986. The policy that aims to transform India's education system 2040. That is the implementation of the NEP 2020. Then what is the vision? Because we heard series of lecture. What is the utmost vision of NEP 2020? It's two words. This national education policy envisions an education system that rooted in Indians' ethos, that contribute directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality educations to all, high quality educations to all, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. Making India a global knowledge superpower. I think my co-speaker may accept this. There are the 4 points, just making the divisions in the NEP. One is the school education, higher education, other key areas, and making it happen. So this is the thing. The policy based on the draft National Education Policy 2099 with the Committee for Draft National Education Policy, that is chaired by, you must remember Dr. Kasturi Rangan, the former chairman of India Space Research Organization. Sir is submitted to the Ministry of Human Resources Development on December 15, 2018. It was introduced in July 29, 2020. The 4 part of the national education policy covers, I already told. The part 1 is the school education. The part 2 is the higher education. The other key areas of the focus, that is the third one, such as, to elaborate adult education, promoting the Indian languages and online education and making it happen. The fourth one, part 4, which discusses the policy implementations. So these are the things to be noted. The policy 2020, that is the policy seeks to the restructure of the school curricula and pedagogy in the new 5+3+3+4 design, so that school education can be made relevant to the needs and interest of the learners at the different developmental stages. A foundation stage, that is the 5 years, a preparatory stage 3 years, a middle stage 3 years, and the high stage 4 years, covering the grade 9, that is 10, 11, and 12. It aims to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary school by 2025. For this, the Ministry of Human Resource Development shall set up a national mission on the foundational literacy and numeracy. Yeah, very interesting. That is the public and the private schools, except the schools that are managed, aided, or controlled by the central government, will be assessed and accredited on the same criteria, that is the benchmarks and the processes. The gross enrollment ratio from the preschool to the secondary education should be 100% by 2030. Yeah, this is the main aim in the new education policy 2020. So all education institutions shall be held to the similar standard of the audit and disclosure as a not for profit entity. Says this policy, if the institution generates a surplus, it shall be reinvested in the educational sector. The policy says that all higher education institutions shall aim to be multidisciplinary by 2040. By 2030, there shall be at least one multidisciplinary, higher education institutions in or nearby every district. The policy aims for the gross enrollment ratio in higher education to increase to 50% by 2035, by 2035 from 25% in 2018. It may be percentage that varies the record. Yeah, higher educational institutions have the flexibility to offer the master's program to 2 years for those who have completed a 3-year and undergraduate programs of 1 year for students who have completed a 4-year undergraduate program or 5 years integrated bachelor's in the master programs. And the very noted point is the MPhil program that shall be discontinued. I think the best congrats to the IAU. It is time for me to conclude. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, Professor Raghavendra, for your wonderful inputs. Now we have Dr. Sonia Chantani, Founder Director of Dream Achievers, Career Counselor, Certified POSH Practitioner, AIEF Certified Global Ambassador, Member of Global Teachers Forum, National Counselor for Sports Education, SPAA India, State President for WICCI, Education Policy Council, Gujarat Trainer, Global Foundation for Early Childhood Education and Research, Global Goodwill Ambassador, Sports Collaborative India, National Editorial Team, PAAI. She is in the education sector for past 14 years with 11 years of teaching experience and 3 years of counseling experience. Wow. Sonia ma'am, really we are blessed to have a wonderful personality like yours. So you are welcome on the stage. Please put in your reviews about NEP. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Snigdha ma'am. It's a beautiful introduction that you could give it to me. And before I start on the review part of it, I would like to extend my gratitude to Mr. Piyush sir, the entire team of IIU, and special thanks to you and Ravi sir, who have been like a backbone to us throughout this conference of 22 days. And it's been in and out, day in, day out, night in, night out. We've been troubling you, ma'am, this is not done, ma'am, this has to be done, ma'am, how to go about with this. We've been bombarding with lots of things to her, and she's answered all our queries, and she's had that smile throughout the conference. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being such a beautiful host to all of us. It's really a beautiful initiative taken by IIU. And I think one conference like this is not sufficient. We need more. And not only for the educators, for the school managements, I think we should even get to the students with this NEP. You know, we need to explain them also what are the changes that we are bringing about in the education system, so that they are also mentally prepared and not confused with how things are going to go in coming future. If we talk about NEP, yes, there have been a few things that NEP was introduced with. You know, a vision was there. It has a mission to have a quality education around India. We need to have the best human resources, suppose. So keeping that in mind, yes, there are changes that have been made, and it's been a revolution for us to bring the NEP. You know, it's taken decades for us to bring this, because I remember when we were children, we were going to school, and when we became teachers, the same old methodology was still followed, the same old traditional, the parampara was going on. You know, open a textbook, make notes, do rote learning, give exams. That's how education was, and that is what we knew. This is how schooling is done. But I think it's high time now we come out with different things, because the pandemic has at least shown us the potential our children have, you know, the qualities that our children possess. We need to identify those potentials and the strengths of our children. And the best way to bring it out is through the different learning styles that NEP is going to introduce, through the multiple intelligences, through blending of activities with academics, because only bookish knowledge is not what education means. Education is when a child has everything around. There should be little vocational, there should be little performing arts, there should be little academics. And you know, when we blend all these together with moral values, that's how a holistic grooming of a child is done. And that is what is actually the need of the hour. The NEP is looking out to early childhood education and care. I think it should look more further than that. Even the higher class children should be given that same quality, that same platform. But yes, if we are looking into the early childhood, we are actually making a quite strong base for those children to grow up and, you know, transform into good children or to come as a potential children in the higher classes. Because if the base is good, the foundation is obviously what they learn, the way they grasp and they perform will totally change the scenario for them, you know. And we need to come out with exploratory programs for them. NEP also has open platforms of exchange programs. If we happen to see today, we are from different countries who sit down to discuss about different topics on educational issues. You know, when we're talking about different countries, you're talking about different people, different educators, they all come out with various ideas. They share how education is imparted in their country, how things are taken about over there, how academics is followed over there. In the last 2 years, we've attended many such conferences, many such seminars and webinars. I think it's a very good platform for even our teachers. You know, they can have training programs, exchange programs, so that they also know how things are moving forward. They need to make themselves that tech savvy also. We need to blend education with technology also. You know, only technology cannot work, only academics cannot work, only books cannot work for us. We need to have a blend of all of them. We speak about counseling sessions. Yes, counseling is important because that is going to help children to reduce their anxiety, fear, phobias, you know, taking up exams, stress. We need to cut down on that. And one thing that I really feel as an educator is, as Sir was talking about a uniformed platform for studies, you know, schools, the same way should be followed even for the entrance exams that we have for children these days. You know, having state exams, having central exams, children are totally confused. Which exams are they going to give? And how are they going to cope up with so many examinations apart from the academic exams they have to give in school? It gets too tiring for them. They are stressed out with it. If we have a uniformity, we have a sense. For example, if you're talking about the medical entrance, it should be the same throughout the country. If you're talking about a law, it is same way. For engineering, it is same. Then why are universities or colleges having their own private entrances also? I think we need to put some light on that also. If we are giving them entry and exit, if we are making things lighter for them, then I think we need to even consider these things, you know, where it could work even more better for them. I'm sure if these things can work out, children will not have gap years in their education. They will not have to take a year gap to prepare for an entrance and then get back to studies again. You know, all these things can be sorted out. So we need to really work on it. We've spoken a lot, and I think we need to put it into action now. Spoken words actually do not show how it is. But yes, when we put them into implication and we put them into action, we actually see the result and we see what fruits it can give to us. So I would like to conclude by saying that we need to really work on it, and we look forward to come as a team, and if possible to go up to the students and even the teachers to give them this awareness of how NEP is going to work and how best we can give the NEP a better future or a better version of India in the coming time. Thank you.
Excellent, Sonia ma'am. Very rightly said. All the schools should have the same curriculum, same board. And as I said in my introductory speech, yes, in IIU, we are working towards it. Shortly will be, already we have launched the World Education Policy. Shortly we'll start working on it so that throughout the world, everywhere, same curriculum, same structure of the education, and children will get the same kind of education. So very rightly said, perfect inputs. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, we have our fifth speaker of the day, Dr. Sudhakar Umale, sir, former head and associate professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. He has received Best Technical Paper Award by Institution of Foundrymen. He has received Say India Guru Award. He is working as a judge, subject expert, design judge in different activities, organizing committee members, advisory committee member, reviewer, and editorial board member in different national and international conferences, session, chairman in international conferences. He had till now delivered 93 expert talks in conferences as a keynote speaker and as a resource person in faculty development program. So indeed, we have a great person today with us. So Dr. Sudhakar sir, the platform is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Snigdha Kadam, madam, Ravi Kumar sir, and Piyush Pandit sir. Today, it is a great session, and I will talk on an overview of National Education Policy 2020. So, as per a discussion from first day, so it is very important topic for the students, parents, all stakeholders. When you see all this, there are 6 silent aspects of National Education Policy. And I will cover that 6 policies, how syllabus, curriculums are implemented in the colleges. First is the governance. Second is skills. Third is values. Fourth is multidisciplinary. Fifth is technology. And 6 is teaching learning paradigm, including assessments. I will cover all these 6 aspects during my discussion. And I will cover some of the points regarding teaching learning activities. Teaching learning activities have undergone a sea change in the recent years. Technological development and rapidly changing industry requirements demand innovative outcome-based classroom delivery methods. Effective outcome-based teaching amalgamates techniques, skill, judgment, and technology we require. National education policy has been conceived to broaden the understanding and practice of advanced and innovative teaching learning methods in higher education, focusing on the overall outcome. National education policy will generally provide the themes including innovative pedagogical practices, innovative, holistic and inclusive teaching practices, life skills, and a value-based education, equity and inclusions like learning for all. This is very important, learning for all, and education policy and administration for greater impact in teaching learning practices. Every stakeholder in education, whether it is the institute leaders, teachers, students or parents, has realized the indispensable role of technology in modern education. Now, the challenges we have in front of us is to build a learning environment that leverages digital learning technology without ignoring the benefits of physical learning. Unlike the teachers in school education, a faculty in higher education joins the teaching profession without formal training in teaching, learning and assessment. Understanding and capabilities in these areas along with awareness of policies, governance, and administrative structures, can help new higher education teachers improve their teaching and management skills, adjust to the culture of higher education institutions, and better understand their professional responsibilities. The teachers are also expected to clearly understand planning, curriculum, and pedagogical strategies, generate new knowledge for equitable society, maintain academic integrity, and integrate sustainability in teaching and personal life. I come to the very important point already have discussed, value-based education. Value-based education is the need of the hour as we see significant deterioration of value systems in the society of current times. To teach the value system in their confused minds and make them value-oriented powerful leaders, educational institutions should take the initiative to impart value-based spiritual knowledge to this new generation, imbibing the qualities of good conduct, self-confidence, and high values would help students earn an important place in society. Education without values is like a flower without fragrance. I will talk about students' activity. So we require student first. Students should realize that character building is equally important to or as career building. A good character in life is the ultimate thing that stretches a person's self-realization. To address this, we must seriously think about and find ways to integrate the value-based universal education system in our institutions. This is very important, education. So why education is important in the country? Education is the ability to meet life situations. So there is one word for life situation is that 50% of one's financial success is due to one's technical knowledge, and about 80% is due to skill in human engineering, personality, and the ability to lead people. This is very important, how they face the problems in the education, how they face the problem in societies, in the industries, and hence we require the one subject in the education system that is called as human engineering. I want to explain some of the technical knowledge aspects in this discussion. Technical knowledge plus the ability to express ideas, assume leadership, and arouse enthusiasm among the people. There is one question in front of me: how to understand and get along with people, how to make people like you, and how to win others to your way of thinking. This is a very most important thing. Now I will call and I will discuss about a very one, that is education design thinking. So when you come out of the box, definitely there is change in the national education policy. Education design thinking is also referred to as design-based learning. Design-based learning may be a model for enhancing creativity, endurance, engagement, and innovation. The benefit of design thinking in pedagogy is its character, which enables students to work successfully in multidisciplinary teams and intact positive design-led change in the world. Now I will come to the very important aspect in the national education policy, that is a problem-based or problem-solving approach of the students. It is a problem-solving approach dealing with the solution of everyday problems. Learning and knowledge creation in design thinking education are based on highly iterative proceedings. An ideal learning cycle must comprise the following 4 phases. So these phases are very important. There is no time for discussion. Otherwise, I will discuss in very detail. First is experiencing. This is the most important factor for the students. Second is the reflecting. Third is the thinking and acting. And the learner goes through all of them. In any field, knowledge is generated and accumulated through action. And hence, according to us, knowledge is generated by inquiry and application. Design thinking skills can be developed in various activities at schools, especially in group work and projects, as one of the preconditions is teamwork and open communication. So teamwork and open communication is the very most important issues in the national education policy. During design thinking, you can work in small groups and observe the following 6 steps. I want to focus on for 6 steps of design thinking process, which can apply in schools and colleges. First is the identify opportunity. Students' point of view, identify opportunity is very important. Second is the design. Third is the prototype. Fourth is the getting feedback. And fifth is the scale and spread. And sixth is the presentation. And now I want to discuss about the catalyst for change, because always we day to day we require the change in the system, and hence what is the catalyst for the changing in education in the case, particularly in case of higher education, and that is inequality. Higher education has long been viewed as essential in pushing change and social progress. The core teaching and learning tools are often cited as critical components for impacting individuals and communities. A growing tide of public opinion has challenged higher education to confront questions about equity in outcomes, teaching quality and its impact on learning, equitable access, the broader value of higher education, and the role of education in impacting lasting system change for greater good. Education is not the name of any degree or certificate that can be shown to others as a proof. This is very important. So nowadays, till now, the education is only showing degree, but it is not good. But education in the colleges and must be giving our attitude, actions, language, behavior, and personality towards others in real life. Already I have discussed, many speakers discussed about vision, mission, program, educational objectives are the main things in the national education policy. New education policy impact on higher education. So what is the impact? We require the excellence in higher education. If you are educating a woman, you are educating your society, nation, and generation. She is soft, fragile, but her determination and perseverance is rock solid. Salute to all women. Now there is one question I have for you only: how to change education in India? In our country, we have a good history of implementing good education, and for that, change requires a constant effort. Immediately, we will not get the effect of it. And definitely, we have so many national policies, but I don't have time. But before implementing, we are concentrating on industry 4.0, but nobody is looking for education 4.0. And when you understand education 4.0 in the education system, then definitely you can say that our national education policy is truly implemented in India. Thank you very much and patience listening.
Thank you so much, Sudhakar sir. Indeed, I should say very descriptive reviews you have given about NEP, and you have covered all the points. Thank you so much. It was indeed enriching. Now, I would like to call upon our next speaker for the day, Dr. Sunil Srivastava sir, the principal of Kids Kingdom Public School, Nanded, India, holds experience for about 30 plus years, an avid reader and a learner, and is pleased to be a leadership trainer for British Council, master trainer for Khelo India, and trainer for CBSE. Respected Sunil sir, the platform is all yours.
At this onset, I would like to thank Snigdha madam for giving this wonderful opportunity and including making me a part of this wonderful session. And I would like also thank Piyush sir you said it's a wonderful platform you have created for all of us, for all the educationists who wanted to learn and who wanted to share. And coming back to national education policy, almost all the speakers have spoken very well about the national education policy. Of course, it is very aspirational. There is no denying the fact about it. When I was thinking how it can be compared with the, if you go to the historical pages. So it was 80 years before, in 1942, Mahatma Gandhi gave a call of Quit India movement. And 80 years after now, if we talk about this, so this is a time when every one of us to stand together to lift India. So it can be a lift India movement. So national education policy, in a way, it is a lift India movement. It is an opportunity not only for the educators, not only for the students, but also every stakeholder has to play a very, very vital role. What we did in 1942, so that in 5 years we could remove the Britishers out of this country. In the same way, if you want to if you want to make this country a wonderful nation, then definitely we all have to collectively work. Sometimes within the policy, sometimes we have to create our own policies without putting into jeopardy the national education policy. Of course, national education policy is a vision document. Much more has yet to be clarified. National education policy talks about what. To some extent, it covers the aspects of why, but how it is to be done, yet the picture is not very, very clear. As the time passes by, maybe when the NCF 2022 is declared, when it comes to the people, many things would be clear as far as the school education is concerned. As far as the college education is concerned, or higher education is concerned, definitely some things are being released. India is a country of policies. Indians are very ideological. Indians are very visionary. But when it comes to the implementation, specifically when we talk about the National Education Policy 2020, we also have to understand two important limitations as of now. The first important limitation is when we talk about one education, one nation, one education, there is a constitutional blockage. The Indian Constitution has kept education into neither it is a central in the list nor it is in the state list. It is in the concurrent list. And it is very, very important to see how the policymakers work on this to be acceptable. Piyush sir has rightly mentioned that in India, there are so many boards, there are so many states, so many boards, so many education patterns. And with this, it becomes very, very difficult to implement one particular policy. So definitely it will be interesting to see that how we are going to counter this biggest challenge, wherein all the states, all the state boards come to the conclusion, they come together to make this learning happen, this policy is implemented. The second important challenge which I am really more concerned about is that how about the capacity building? Considering that 2023, if we are implementing this, are our higher education, the B.Ed and D.Ed programs are aligned, because those are to be aligned now. Because the teachers who are going to implement this, they have already completed the B.Ed, D.Ed, maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years before, 10, 20 years. Like people as like have completed B.Ed for 25 years before. So how are we going to address that particular issue wherein that every person is on the same page? So what about the capacity building? So the capacity building has to be started much before the national education policy is actually implemented. That is again a very, very important thing. The third important thing which I would like to talk about is that it is always about the knowledge. Today, knowledge we can get on the click of the button. But what is more difficult is that how everyone is going to acquire the skills. We talk about the 21st century skills. Are the teachers aware of those 21st century skills? Are they aware of sustainable development goals? And how are we taking them these things to the teachers, to the education fraternity? That is again a very, very important thing which every one of us to understand. Rather, every one of us to ensure that the sustainable development goals, the whatever the vision is mentioned in the national education policy, it goes to each and every stakeholder, both to the parents and both. The third important thing is that about the attitudes, how we are going to change the attitude of the people. We are so comfortable in our traditional system that no parents want to change that. Everyone is still interested in whatever, most of, if you see the number of the numbers for JEE examinations and NEET examination, so that speaks volumes about what the mindset is that. So it is very, very important that everyone has to take into consideration how are we going to change the attitude of the stakeholders in general and the teachers to some extent. If you're not going to do that, I'll give one example. 10 years before, government, the CBSE and the government came up with CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. It was, I think, one of the wonderful programs that government has taken. But before people could assimilate it, people could understand it, and everyone has interpreted CCE in his own way. Every school, every teacher, though it was very clearly given by the state government, by the central government, by the CBSE, but everyone interpreted in his own way. Parents took it to a different level. Their understanding was at completely different level. So with the country of millions of thoughts, millions of mindsets, millions of attitude, and millions of cultural background, it is going to be very, very challenging as well as interesting to see. Now, how it can be done? The larger responsibility comes upon. I mean, I really appreciate the IU in special, in particular, and Piyush Pandit sir and Snigdha madam to bringing this particular thing on this platform. This is one of the initiative. It is again very, very important that there has to be awareness programs for the parents, for the teachers, to make them understand what NEP is all about. If you see what NEP definitely what it talks, it's definitely very good. If you talk about the parak, if you talk about role of NTA, if you talk about higher education, if you talk about so many things, it's definitely is very, very wonderful. But we all have to come together. We have to, it's a collective effort. It's not one person. Like in 1942, everyone came together, and that was a freedom movement. Now again, it's time after 80 years, everyone has to come together. Though we may not have a Mahatma today, but everyone can become Acharya Vinoba Bhave, who worked in 1940-41 as an individual satyagrahi. And we all have to be not the satyagrahis, but individual agrahis, where we can convince every one of the people to take this positively and implement. I think I made my point clear. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Very well said, very rightly said, Dr. Sunil sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful inputs. I would like to add on over here, sir, as you said, teachers and the educators to be informed in well how the implementation should happen. Whatever you said was right, sir. When the CCE was implemented, there was so much of chaos. People were unable to understand how to implement that, and they started using their own policies, rules, regulations. Every institute, every board started following the same thing. And not that time, but even today, I feel still there is a confusion. What should come under the CCE? So institutions and the leaders are not very much clear. So I feel before we implement the NEP teachers training program, the comprehensive teachers training programs are very, very important. Not only teachers, but all the principals, educators should be trained so that we can have the exact perfect implementation to have the quality education for the students. Sorry, I just shared my inputs. Yes, sir.
As of now, everyone is in the panic mode.
Yes, sir. Everyone is in the panic mode because I would like to add on here, because whatever has been mentioned in the NEP, we have to give the, like for example, engineering and music stream can be opted by the child together. So certainly is going to be the burden on the organizations as well, how to appoint so many teachers, how we are going to run all the things. So yes, certainly there are certain loopholes, but I think state will take care of that, and
Certainly.
will have the perfect and smooth functioning of the, like, institutions and NEP as well. Yes.
Certainly.
Now,
IIU has to play vital role, ma'am.
yeah, we all will play, sir. Rather,
Yes,
sir, we all will
certainly.
play.
Yes.
So, as very rightly said by Piyush Pandit, sir, shortly we'll be launching our exercise book of NEP. You all are invited.
Sure.
All the people who are the part of this NEP webinar series, as well as all the audience, you all are invited. Certainly, we will give you the guidelines how we have to go about it, and in a short span of time, we will start with the work. Now, I would like to call upon Ashwini Pansare ma'am. She is the principal in Bal Seva English Medium School, Wakad, Pune, Maharashtra. She is having a total teaching experience of 14 plus years and as an administrator for more than 5 years. She is a motivational speaker, good presenter of educational presentation organization, innovation ambassador 2022, trainer, lifelong learner, self-aware leader, poem writer. She has received many awards and rewards at national and international levels. Dear Ashwini ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your lovely words of appreciation. It's a privilege and honor to give me the wonderful opportunity on this amazing platform. Knowledge shared is a knowledge squared. First of all, really, I want to appreciate our IIU founder, Piyush Pandit sir. Sir, you are a wonder. You are a one in a million. Then our Chief Operating Officer, Mrs. Dr. Snigdha ma'am. Ma'am, you are an angel of a person. And Ravi sir, you are a genius. Means many more, all the expertise, all the pioneers of IIU members are doing amazing, extraordinary 24/7 hard work. And it's a really seen. Means if we are thinking, but practically it's really not possible to do this entire working for on global level. So I can't express in words, but once again, I want to appreciate entire IIU team and many more senior principals as well as Sonal ma'am. Sonal ma'am, you are also a divine of a soul. I saw your status, I saw your Facebook and all. So really means all the entire team of IIU, every day I am inspired because of IIU. Okay. So now I will share my views. First of all, in these 22 days, every day we get some unique knowledge by sharing the ideas between different educators, then different kind of leaders, then teachers, entire directors and all. So I want to tell you that NEP is a beauty in current education system. Why? Because the most enthusiastic thing, not only for educators, but for leaders, for teachers, and for students. It's an opportunity to gain some extra knowledge in the 21st century skill. And likewise, I want to tell you, because of NEP, means in the current education system, without NEP, education is like a moonless sky. Without new education policy and national education policy in the current education system, education is like a moonless sky. Because NEP in education is like a water. It has no place, it has no taste, it has no smell, no color. But It's a very important in upcoming generation. So we should be very grateful that in the current education system, NEP tells us that empathy is more important than sympathy. Then now NEP in education gives us the enthusiastic and different ideas for teachers, for students. NEP gives us curiosity, creativity, sense making, critical and creative thinking. As you all of you know that Einstein gives us one equation or put forward the theory of one equation that E is equal to mc square. But NEP tells us that E is equal to mc square is nothing but emotional intelligence is equal to mindfulness into critical and creative thinking. So why NEP is a beauty? I want to share some views, entire reviews of new education policy. Exactly which point is not mentioned in the new education policy? From school education, from pre-primary education up to the higher education, from different autonomous universities, everything is mentioned in NEP. Inclusion of early childhood care education, formal schooling, 6% of GDP, primary education in mother tongue, research projects compulsory during the B.Ed course. It's a light but tight curriculum. Then those who want to do their specialization in their major subject, at the same time they can choose the vocational subject. Those who are having the potential of art, those who are having the potential of crafts, those who are having the potential of other some dance, music, like other activities. So they can select compulsory one vocational subject along with major subject. Then even for teachers, NEP gives the continuous and comprehensive professional development training, holistic and multidisciplinary teaching. How the teachers can teach student holistic and multidisciplinary education. Then equitable society. Important is structured curriculum, 5+3+3+4. So this, all the points are covered in new education policy. Then SWOT analysis. In the SWOT analysis, NEP tells us that what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunity, and what are the threats. Then what are the digital aspects of learning? How will take home learning experiences? Then NEP gives us more and more knowledge, means from the different or from entire and global level educators, we can listen, we can follow the instructions, then we can implement as per the straightway action. So these all the entire points NEP tells. Then what kind of adaptive learning methods? Means after the teaching and learning, how the teachers and how the leaders can work on learning outcomes, which are the pedagogical approaches. Then what is the exact curriculum? What is pedagogy? Then how the leader can make their annual pedagogical plan. So this everything is mentioned in NEP, and it helps to develop a raw talent with a specific new skill. Means NEP tells us thinking out of the box, brainstorming methodologies. So these entire methodologies are covered in NEP. Though it came as a new learning experience, and definitely all the leaders, all the educators, all the teachers, all the students definitely implement and within 5 years, we can see the growth of our students. Then apart from this, the different kind of professional and vocational education under the MERUs, then NHERC, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, Qualifications Framework, then General Education Council, Board of Governors, Ayush, Farik, then Gross Enrollment Ratio, Higher Education Commissions of India, National Accreditation Council, which are the main visions of higher education. Higher education tells us that education should be more holistic and multidisciplinary education on the basis for knowledge form creation and innovation, because it plays an important and extremely important role in promoting the human as well as societal well-being. So all the entire points are covered in NEP and definitely will achieve as early as possible and will implement in each and every school, not only the private school, but from ZP school to CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, IB, state board, in all board system. Okay, so as per the time consideration and all, I want to share one thought. Finally, I want to share one thought. मेहनत अच्छी हो तो रंग लाती है, मेहनत अच्छी हो तो रंग लाती है, मेहनत गहरी हो तो भाती है, मेहनत गहरी हो तो भाती है, मेहनत नादान हो तो टूट जाती है, और मेहनत IIU जैसे एक्सपर्टाइज की हो तो इतिहास बना देती है. So thank you all of you for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this auspicious last day in NEP webinar series. Definitely I would like to be a part in future seminar and webinar in IIU. Thank you so much once again, Ravi sir, Snigdha ma'am, Sonal ma'am, then Ina ma'am, means all the entire educators on this platform. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Ashwini ma'am. Very nicely elaborate the reviews of NEP. And as you said, it's our pleasure as well to have you all today on the last day of the webinar. Though it is the last day of the webinar, it is not the last day of the NEP. I feel we have started the implementation of the NEP by organizing this webinar. So I think it's a beginning. So let's join our hands together to show the wonders. Thank you. Now we have Dr. Shivani Sahani, an educator by profession, a learner by mind, and empathetic by heart, passionately working towards building 21st century skills in students, training them to be humble, responsible, and mindful. Dr. Shivani Sahani is a global life skill ambassador and thought leader with various organizations working in the field of education. She is a veteran in starting up schools, GD Goenka Public, Presidium, Dolphin POD are few to name. She is presently heading HRM Global School in Pitampura, Delhi. In her free time, she pens down her thoughts and experiences in the form of quotes, short poems, and blogs by her pen name Sentiment Shivani on Instagram. Your quote and WordPress. Extremely brilliant profile, Dr. Shivani, ma'am, and it's really a pleasure to get connected with you. And now I request you to share your views about NEP.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Snigdha. In fact, it is such a humble, sharing that you have done for me, and I'm really, really humbled. I'm really, really grateful for your so very kind words of appreciation. I am also enthralled to be here on this platform. So thank you so much for providing this platform to Dr. Piyush, Piyush Pandit sir, and all eminent personalities over here. So it is such a wonderful learning experience, being a co-learner herein, where everybody has been mentioning about NEP being a revolutionary and a forward-thinking progressive document, which aims at bringing transformation in the education system. I completely believe in the same. And for me, I believe that the objectives of NEP are that the students become ambassadors of India. They become useful citizens of world and have problem-solving capacities built in. The formulation of National Curriculum Framework for School Education, which will be 2020-21, as of now, we all have been utilizing NCF 2005. So now with the formulation of 2020-21, which is going to be undertaken by NCRT, this NCF document shall be revisited and it will be updated every 5 to 10 years, taking into account the frontline curriculum. Assessment system will also be revamped with being continuous in nature, portfolio-based 360-degree evaluation, peer and self-evaluation, exams only to be taken in grade 3, 5, and 8, focusing on learning outcomes, achievement, and attainment of competencies. So the entire focus through NEP lies on the competency building, the skill building of students, whether in the junior classes or in the higher education, starting from the early childhood education. Vocational education is also to be integrated into all the schools and higher education institutions in a phased manner. Secondary schools to collaborate with ITIs, polytechniques, skill knowledge providers, vocational training providers, artisans, local industry experts, etc. Skill labs to be set up in the schools in a hub and spoke model to allow other schools to use the facility, because there will be a lot of schools in the rural areas who might not be in a position to afford. Hence, the hub can be created and that can be utilized by multiple schools thereon. School education boards to be strengthened to carry out the assessments of vocational courses as well, besides the academics. 10 days of bagless internship with local experts such as the carpenters, potters, etc., and the industry internship during the holidays. Skill-based aptitude tests, that is the SBTs, to be introduced to provide guidance to students for their career choice. In their early ages, if they are provided such kind of platforms, it would make it easy for them to decide as in which area would they really be keen in going into. When it comes to the higher education, learning will be outcome-based again, more research-oriented, focusing on the core skills and competencies, helping education system produce globally competitive graduates ready to be employed with no gap between the industry requirements and the student skill set. The National Education Policy focuses on large multidisciplinary institutes offering multidisciplinary programs, enhanced learner experiences through the curricular revamp, fostering the critical thinking, creativity, and humane qualities, holistic development of individuals through an integrative and flexible approach, and a high quality research through National Research Board. The multiple entry and exit system and the academic bank of credits, this system will increase the number of students enrollment to various courses. The policy has recommended a replacement of University Grant Commission with the National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, that is NHERA. It classifies the higher educational institutions into 3 categories, which is type 1, that are the research universities, the type 2 teaching universities, and the type 3, these are the colleges. The National Higher Education Regulatory Authority shall be the sole regulator for all of higher education, including the professional education. All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, and National Council for Teachers Education, that is NCTE, will be transformed into professional standard setting bodies, that is PSSBS. Massive open online courses, MOOCs, will be given special preference. Open and distance learning will also be covered under National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and only qualified institutions will be permitted to conduct the open and distance learning centers. The recognition by National Assessment and Accreditation Council will be in terms of only yes or no, no grading system. Levels will be introduced between assistant, associate, and professor cadres. Boards will be constituted to grant autonomy for type 1, type 2, and type 3 institutions. For energized, engaged, and capable faculty, the NEP 2020 aims to establish National Research Foundation, which will fund the research institutes. As one of my peers was mentioning about the skill building of the teachers, NEP also aims to restore integrity to teacher education, move teacher education into multidisciplinary colleges and universities, and upgradation of professional education, promotion of education technology in teaching learning efforts by setting up National Education Technology Forums, Department of Science and Technology, and Indian Council of Social Science Research, like funding agencies in addition to the National Research Foundation. It also focuses on preceptorship, which means, I'll give an example out here, like for example, Indian Nursing Council to perform dual role, wherein the teaching faculty at the nursing colleges will also be performing a clinical practices. That is, not just that the professors are only going to be teaching, but they will also practice. So that is the concept of preceptorship, which is also being introduced by NEP. So to sum up, the three broad outcomes of excellence in higher education and the school education through NEP is towards contribution to the skill building, so that it contributes to the economic growth and competitiveness, improvement in social equity, and poverty alleviation. However, at last, I would say that this is all possible only when the proposed policy is implemented in the true spirit without losing its essence. So the entire responsibility lies on the shoulders of us educators to implement this policy in its correct ethos, share it in its essence with the students, with the parents, and all the stakeholders, so that together in partnership, we make it a success. Thank you.
Great thoughts by Dr. Shivani. Really, ma'am, I still remember your session, second session, I think, Foundation Literacy and Numeracy. Am I right? Wonderful story presentation, and indeed the same way you have presented even your reviews as well. Thank you so much. And hope to have many more sessions with you even in the future.
For sure.
Yeah. Now we have Dr. Abhinav Srivastava, sir. He's having an experience of 12 plus years in teaching and training. He has trained approximately 15,000 students from different backgrounds and 2,000 teachers regarding course creation, business growth, branding. Area of interest is marketing and branding, digital marketing, communication skills. He is the founder of digital agency as well as founder and trainer of High On Skills. I would like to add on here one thing. Abhinav Srivastava sir was one of the trainer for our mentor development program batch 3, and indeed sir had rocked the session. Thank you so much sir for being here, and I request you to kindly put in your views.
Well, good evening to all of you and namaste from India. Well, किसी ने खूब कहा है कि करत करत अभ्यास के जड़मती होत सुजान, रसरी आवत जादते सिर पर पड़त निशान. In short, practice makes a man perfect. I feel digital education in NEP play this role. own devices, own time, recorded courses, learn anywhere from any place, rewind, forward, play, stop, make notes, forward again, clear your doubts and connect to anyone. And that is the beauty of digital education in NEP. Being an educationist, trainer, and the founder of digital marketing agency, I am more inclined towards digital education in new education policy. If I asked you, what is style according to you? Well, definitely the answer would be different. But I feel style is a way of saying complicated things in a simple manner. But yes, the mode of communication is continuously changing. Just look the technology of the last decade. Just look the fashion of the last decade, and just look the marketing of the last decade. What you will find? You will find the essential commodities of the past are not required today, and in the same way, the need of an hour will not be required in the future. The whole world is changing, the whole world is global, and the whole world is going digital. Let's understand the statistical data. Population of India is approx 1.39 billion. Mobile users are approx 1.2 billion. Smartphone and internet users are approx 750 millions. According to the global market research insights, the whole online education has been projected to grow up to $586 billion by 2027. And in India, the compound annual growth rate is 20% and $2.28 billion industry. Let's understand the scope, let's understand the opportunities, and let's understand what we can create in future. As per the Coursera, the 2020 impact report, US is on number one, 14 million learners on that platform, and India is on number two with 9.5 million users. So the point is, digital education and the new education policy will help in this whole scenario. So the whole world is going digital, earning digital, learning digital, connecting digital, sharing digital, managing digital, business is digital, transaction is digital, and networking digital. So why should not our education be digital? I feel the main purpose of new education policy is to reach the maximum number of students and train them all those skills which are required at present and in the future, so we can create the win-win situation for everyone. Well, thank you very much from my side. Thank you.
Abhinav sir, fantastic. The way you started itself, I still had a thought about the first day of the mentor trainer development program. It was so engaging. I thought you will speak. Like, I was waiting. Sir will add more of his inputs, but certainly I know time is the constraint today. And dear all, do you know, we have completed 2 hours of this fantastic session which is going on. Indeed, a great job by each one of you. Thank you so much, Abhinav sir. Now, I would like to call Saida Afreen ma'am. She carries with an array of which ranges from human resources to communication skills to retail marketing. Now, she is an indie facilitator. She works across schools, colleges, and corporates, running short and long-term training workshops on motivation, teaching methodologies. She has a wide experience of delivery on learning and teaching techniques. Internationally certified trainer, certificate in teaching, learning, and developing professionals, TQ, UK, International Certified Career Coach, USA. She has received many awards and rewards. She has an experience of 19 plus years in education as a teacher, as a head of the department, counselor, and principal. Wow, indeed a great experienced educator today we have. Thank you, Saida ma'am, for being here. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kadam, and all of you. Good morning from India. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone. one and all who is watching from all the corners of the globe. I would like to start by saying from Dr. Kalam, the purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created by teachers. Changes in the education policy is a major way to provide the nation better students, professionals, and better human beings. So, from this saying itself, I would like to pick two terms, students and teacher, which national education policy is focusing on. The whole policy is around the students' learning, how the student should learn and how the teacher should teach. So if I talk about the students' learning, how a teacher should move on into, a teacher should make herself practice well before going to the classroom. Like if I'm not going with the high vocabulary policies and all, I would like to say only in few statements what is more important in education policy. The the major focus is on teacher, how the teacher should teach. A teacher's plan should be an activity based. We all know, like beforehand, we used to have a chalk and board methods. We used to just rectify the answers, and students used to just focus on grades and all. So what we have to do here is when a teacher moves into a classroom, she should be well prepared into the classroom. If it is an English classroom, she should portray, she should have a drama in her classroom. She should indulge herself by storytelling so that students get interest. Even in all the subjects, we can say simply art integrated learning is most important in NEP 2020. We are focusing on art integrated learning. So every subject can be art integrated with the extracurricular activities, and all a teacher should plan properly how this classroom has to move on. Now, if I tell you about the institutional restructuring and reconsolidation, this policy is actually giving us the wide range of multidisciplinary universities and higher education systems. Focusing on high quality liberal educations, flexible curriculum structure, then even flexibility in master programs. As already we know, there is a type 1, type 2 and type 3 combinations, that is 2-year master program, 1-year master program for students, then 5-year integrated master programs. Conductive learning environment needs to be, it has suggested to have a conductive learning environment. What is that? It is like a joyful, responsive and effective pedagogical environment that fosters on the overall development of the students. That is an holistic development, which focuses on mind, spirit, and body. Everything, mind, body, and spirit. Everything comes in. Then we have empowering the faculty, which is more important. A faculty is the most important because it's their choice to make curricular choices, okay, for their course, then pursue research with that academic freedom. All the institutions should develop their continuous faculty development program so that a teacher should be perfect in their subject as well as in teaching the same subject with the teacher, students. Then this policy is also focusing on the transformation of the regulatory system. That is, it is this function is distributed across, and it is for the various authorities for the elimination of the concentration of powers and their interests. I think this is all for the admin part of things like accreditation, standard setting, guidelines, and all. So I would like to focus more on teacher only. Previous also, our education system has given a lot of policies to us apart from this NEP, but NEP 2020 has totally changed the, I should say, the picture of the teaching methods. Though there were a lot of methods discussed when we were in B.Ed also, we have learned so many things. When we have done M.Eds also, we have learned so many things, but implementation was lacking. Now NEP 2020 is asking you to implement it in your classrooms. Implementation is very important. Though we are talking a lot on NEP, there are many more speakers in around the globe which are talking about NEP. But the most important thing is on teachers. They are main source for the students to build the future of child. So you should never forget that you are a nation builder, that your whole responsibility is on you. The whole responsibility of a nation is on you. Whatever you're teaching them, that should groom them properly. It should develop them, their personality totally. So your teaching will develop them into the personality. If you observe your student has some stage fear, you should rectify that. You should ask him to speak, come near the board. You should motivate them in that way. So everything, all the policies or rules, regulations, methods are some you keep it aside. But a teacher should know where the child lacks, where the problems come from. She should identify and try to resolve it, solve it, give solution to the child. Then only this national education policy will have a successful dream with 2030 sustainable development goals also. So I would like to end up my speak by saying that I really should say best wishes for my all teachers, educators, and will request you to implement this policy as much as possible in your classrooms. Thank you, Mrs. Kadam. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Saida ma'am, for your wonderful inputs. Now we have our next speaker, Sonal Jaj ma'am, a passionate early years educationist, teacher trainer, multi-awardee, award-winning editor, teaching aids expert, a global international speaker, a universal healer, a humanity evangelist, a published writer, a content writer. She is the founder of Edumentris Hub, Cosmic Aura, Metamorphosis, Meraki, and many other organizations. She is an education ambassador of International Internship University. She has won many awards to her credits. She has written 15 books, 5 ebooks, and has been an editor for 2 books. She has mentored 30,000 plus educators across the globe. Wonderful. I would like to add on here, she is my friend as well. So I would like to call dear Sonal ma'am on this platform. Kindly share your views. Dear audience, please stay tuned. Kindly do not leave. Yet many more enriching knowledge is to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Snigdha, for this beautiful introduction. And thank you to Armina for always being there as a light for me. And respect to Rashmi Tagi ma'am. Sadar Pranam Aapko. And to Piyush Pandit sir for creating an ecosystem in the muddy water. We are all the lotus blooming in the muddy water, you can say. And we have actually created this enlightening enrichment series that is called as National Education Policy, which I will convert and say it is actually a natural environmental education, which we all are creating for everyone. So before I start my review on NEP, I will rather not concentrate on the bookish knowledge, because I am actually a prenatal consultant, you can say prenatal consultant for pregnant ladies who are on the verge of threshold of becoming mothers. So they often come and ask me, what is actually the right education? So for me, the right education is that your child, which you are putting in the 9 months in your womb, is actually learning whatever you are thinking, whatever you are learning. The kind of education you are imparting to yourself in the 9 months is actually going to create the national education policy by the time the child comes out and fights the world. जिसे हम इंडिया में हम कहते हैं संस्कार, culture, that is called as implementing the culture of each and every country, implementing the culture of each and every state along with their own national education policies, so that the children of that particular region are able to fight the world along with the academics and the learning given to them over there. So before I start my NEP review, I would like to just say the new education policy, which recognizes that children's ability to read and perform the basic task is quite low, as identified by several studies. We are creating teacher training courses. We are giving them 6-month courses. We are giving them 1-month courses. But are they able to implement them on the ground level? No, they are not. because the teachers are coming to school, opening the books, they are giving the worksheets, they are giving the books. Okay, 3 hours of work has to be given to the child and their work is done. But what is missing? We are actually covering STEAM-based learning. That STEAM-based learning is academic-based STEAM-based learning. That is science, technology, English, maths. But according to NEP policy, which we had 25 years back, we never had this NEP policy. We never had this technology. But the actual STEAM-based learning was when we had, along with our academics, it is called as sincerity stands for STEAM. S. T stands for talent. E stands for education. A stands for adaptability and adoption. M stands for mastery of skills. That is called as STEAM-based learning, along with the academic-based STEAM-based learning. Like I think Ashwini has rightly said, M is equal to C square. E is equal to MC square. Education is equal to mastery of all the creativity and the critical thinking. We are not implementing them on the ground root level. We are actually not implementing them because teacher training courses have to be revamped. The curriculum for the teacher training courses have to be revamped. Teachers have to be started to be giving education on the ground root level, implementing the culture, the sanskar, and all the other aspects of education. Only then we can create super achievers to fight in the life. So that is what it is like. As would be any parent or teacher's expectation, the policy agrees that children should gain competence in performing basic reading and writing tasks by the time they reach grade 3. I have seen many founders and many principals rushing in to train teachers. By the time the child goes in first standard, the child should know A to Z completely. Please don't make it very harsh. Let the child pick up the pencil. Let the child develop all the reflexes and the skills first. Then start on the learning pattern. The child's mind is so sharp that we have to give them brain breaks. We have to give them the brain, we have to give them the project of Goldilocks. I think you all are aware of the Goldilocks project. Why is the baby bear soup always cold? Because we have to start creating curriculum age appropriately. The mama soup was hot, the father's soup was okay, but the baby soup is cold. Why? It is perfect for the child to drink for a particular child of that age. That is what we need to implement, the Goldilocks project in the curriculum age appropriately. That is called as national education, implementing all these skills together. So I will just like to end with this small pyramid. That is, I experimented with my sessions. We have this small pyramid at home. I think this is a pyramid. I think this shows the NEP policy, the pyramid. Because of this thing, I think the visibility is low. We all aware of the pyramid. We keep pyramids at home. Why do we keep pyramids at home? We need to balance all the chakras. We need to balance all the learning together. So the pyramid says that the children need to be, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, this is called as the strength pyramid, which I normally experiment in all my sessions and in my healing sessions also. We speak about the strength pyramid with our students, where we discuss that if your base is strong and secure, the pyramid base is always strong and secure, so that as it goes on rising higher, it becomes very less with the space. That shows the base becomes stronger as we climb higher in life. We connected it to how it relates to our lives as well, and how it is connected to the NEP policy as well. Students listed down the people and things that give them the strength. The NEP policy also lists down the things that are actually needed to be implemented on the ground zero level. Nothing can be strong unless we start its implementation from the base level. So that schools, we must use all our festivals, culture, all other kinds of different based learning patterns and blend them into teaching, blend them into the lesson plan, convert them into certain kind of technology as well as digital platform, so that all the NEP Pyramid 220 module is converted into the pyramid structure, where pyramid shows about analyzing, teaching, learning, experimenting, and all the formulation of the E education is equal to MC square. That is what my NEP policy review is. Thank you so much.
Great, great, great. And indeed, you have shown that you are an expert in the teaching aids and whatever I have read as an introductory part. Yeah.
I have made more than 300 teaching aids from trash.
Excellent, ma'am.
trash
I
means-
think, yeah.
Because normally what teachers do is teachers use the container, decorate kiya, pencil holder bana diya, ho gaya. That is not the teaching
True.
aid. We don't need those teaching aids at all. We need teaching aids that can be used as strategies for learning into STEAM-based learning. How can one teaching aid be converted into science, English, maths? That is called as teaching aid expert, because there is so much of trash lying at home which you don't need. Convert them into teaching aid, implement the lesson plan, implement each and every Pringle box, the aluminum foil rod, everything into a teaching aid and convert it into strategies of curriculum.
Yes, you are very much right, Sonal ma'am. But herein I would like to cut you in between. Practically, it is not possible for the teachers to make the teaching aids in this way. I'll tell you, because there are so many constraints. Because I, being into the education field from last 22 years, worked as a teacher, coordinator, principal. Practical implementation of the teaching aids during the lessons is not possible because of the time
Definitely.
constraint. Because there are so many things which are included in the curriculum we need to cover. But again, I feel this NEP will bring the revolution, and certainly it will be the turning point into
Yeah,
the
here
education.
I will just
Thank-
like, here I will just like to have a small example to all the educators over here, how you can do it. Just one example. You all have hotel containers at home, which we normally sometimes dump off. Don't throw away the hotel containers. We buy jewelry boxes. We have sponges on the jewelry boxes where we keep earrings and other things. So don't throw away the sponge. Take the hotel container, put the sponge on the hotel container to show the icing of the cake. Color it with pink color to show the strawberry icing. Color it with chocolate color to show the chocolate icing. Take the toothpicks, cut out pictures from old books and hang it them on the icing of the cake to show the alphabets, to show the numerical skill. So you are using all the trash, converting it into literary foundational numeracy and literacy skills, and at the same time implementing the teaching it in the class. That is what my expertise.
Yeah, it's very nicely explained, ma'am. I think we need to have one session for worldwide teachers, like, how to make the teaching aid. So certainly I'll be in communication with you for further sessions. Now, we have our last but not the least speaker of the day, a young lady, Miss Ramaya R, who have done MA in English Literature. She is hailing from Nilgiri district, South India. She holds a bachelor's degree in English Literature with gold medal at Bharatiyar University. Wow, that's amazing, Ramya. She's a
Thank you very
budding
much.
poetess, co-author, short story writer, sonata, essayist. She is immensely enthusiastic and highly passionate in the fields of literature, research, conferences, webinars, and expressed her creative thoughts in more than 100 plus anthologies and literary works. She won International Shakespeare's Award 2022, All India Best Writer Award 2021. Indeed, Ramaya, we could see when you have conducted the session on the NEP, the language linguistic. Yes, it was indeed a great session by you. Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
I welcome you all on this platform. Kindly share your expertise.
Sure. Greetings, everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. And thank you for giving a very expertise platform. And indeed, I'm very much thankful to where it started, Snigdha ma'am, and our par excellence with our Sir Piyush Pandit sir. And they have implemented a lot of things and a world-class university, International Internship University. So here today in the session, I'm not going to take a much longer time. Let me be short and precise. And we know that NEP is a policy which is the first educational policy. So it is replacing the 34 years policy which was conducted in 1986. So apart from all these things, we are able to bring some of the policies in the world, and also we are trying to implement it as in a universal manner. So my main motive is to say that the teachers plays an important role to impart all those things. And today we had a lot of dignitaries who spoke about a lot of things regarding NEP, and that itself is enough for the whole session. To occupy 10 minutes in this session and talk about the review of NEP is really a very great task, I would say. So in such a way that NEP is enduring excellence of education. So it's very important. It pays way to handle every situation. So when we implement a policy, it should be very handled in a good manner. So in such a way that teachers plays an important role. We have effective speakers from various parts of the world where they are sharing to the people to shatter the ignorance and to handle their life situations. So we have a lot of challenges in life. What people learn and grasp from teachers, it must be implemented practically so that they can reach great success in their life, right? So in such a way that educational policies like this, it creates a movement from darkness to light. So it will enlighten everyone's future very bright indeed when such policies are implemented. So NEP is a main thing or a major role. Its main purpose is to replace an empty mind. So we can say that a lot of people in the olden days, they were illiterate because they don't have an adequate knowledge to gain, or they remained in their home back. Like that was the thing or a case. But nowadays, the people are very much implementing the things, and so that people from various parts of the world in their own pace, they can learn things. So such a wonderful opportunity is given. So that education must be a world-class one, should be very pure. So in order we create this NEP National Education Policy Series, and this webinar is not an end because every end is a new beginning, I would say, and where intelligence and wisdom are very important thing to intertwine. And acquiring knowledge is always an everlasting process. It goes on. So with that being said, I would like to say also it renders every versatility among its students. So be it a student far or near, doesn't matter. Even International Internship University takes a major role in order to versatilize most of the students in the world. So education is an ethereal that none can take away from you. Nobody can take it away from you. It's our greatest wealth what we have. So to get that, to cherish that moment, we need proper policies in education system. And it surpasses like a sunshine's ray once when it is done like that. So with an end note, I would like to say that it moves everyone with a great perfection. Great perfection matters the most. Be it a student, they should have an interest. The interest must be invoked only by these teachers, and a lot of educators who have spoke today were really effective. So with that effectiveness, we can imbibe the world or impart a very good process in the student field. And at the same time, that cause will be effect to eternity in the field of education, I would say. So with that being said, I would like to also participate in a lot of upcoming grandeur events and extravagant opportunities that our International Internship University provides to the students, at the same time the educators. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you so much, Ramaya. You spoke so well, crisp and apt. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, actually, dear all, I'm getting a bit emotional because 22 days we all were in communication. Rather, we all were in communication for last 40 plus days. And today we are at the end of this NEP webinar, last day of the NEP webinar. Wonderful, amazing and enriching sessions by all the 60 plus speakers who all are the part of this webinar series. I will not say who all were the part because many more series are going to come in the future. And I'm sure the worldwide audience must be touched, moved and inspired by the 22 days of the NEP webinar series by the International Internship University. Certainly, NEP will bring new pedagogy and curriculum for school education, ensuring universal access at all levels of school education from preschool to secondary. I extend my gratitude to Piyush Pandit sir, the visionary founder of IIU, for organizing this webinar on NEP 2022 India with 60 plus eminent educators of India. Thank you, sir. It's indeed a revolutionary step by you. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my dear friend and IIU Romania country director, Ms. Ermina, for providing perfect IT support without any hurdles for all the 22 days. I think she deserves a round of applause. Great, great job, Ermina. And not only the IT support, every day she was recording the session, she was uploading on YouTube. So indeed a great, great job done by you. Thank you, my dear IIU core team, Miss Inga, Miss Nada, Miss Corina, Miss Della, Professor Charles, for your enormous support. Hoping that about 2 crores of out-of-school children will be brought back into the mainstream under NEP 2020. Yes, indeed, the NEP is well suited to strengthening our education system and transforming India into a global education hub. Looking forward to your support to bring the revolution in the worldwide education. IIU is giving opportunities to all. If you want to set up a robotics or STEM lab, we are just a call away. If you want to set up a preschool, IIU Kids Play School will support you. If you are looking for a school for special children, then IIU Mileshead School is there for you. If you need any kind of training, we have formulated varied training programs. If you want to explore robotics, AI, IIU Robotics Lab is there to help you. IIU is the world's only platform wherein you can find the solution to all the problems. Yes, IIU is the revolution. Each child is different. Each child is special. Each child is beautiful. IIU makes them unique and capable. Let them create wonders with IIU. IIU is the change. IIU brings the change. IIU brings the digitalization. IIU is the success. IIU is the opportunity. IIU enhances career. IIU is the turning point. IIU is the revolution. Adopt IIU. Explore the opportunities. Secure your future. IIU is for everyone. Whatever you covet to be, whatever you crave to do, whatever you yearn to study without any financial stress. Dear all, we are one energy. Together, we can bring a change to the education system. I, the COO of the International Internship University, invite you all to be a part of the campaign by IIU, Education to All. Thank you so much. Namaste.
I think I would like to just extend some few words in Hindi. कुछ चीजें समीप जाने से बिना मांगे मिल जाती है, जैसे अग्नि से गर्माहट, बर्फ से शीतलता और फूलों से सुगंध। ईश्वर से भी कुछ मत मांगे, बस निकटता बढ़ाइए, सब कुछ बिन मांगे मिल जाएगा।
Excellent. Very well said by Sonal ma'am. Thank you so much all. Thank you so much. Indeed, we had a great 22 days. Thank you.
I have a submission over here.
Yes, sir, please.
My humble submission over here is that as we have run this NEP series of webinars so successfully, in continuation to this, if IIU can create and support another platform for all the educators here to create and develop a training curriculum for this NEP 2020 for the teachers, where this NEP 2020's implementation training can be imparted to all the educators across, so that they will also come to know how they can implement this NEP 2020 scheme in their respective educational institutions and come out with a beautiful outcome learning and bring the children, the blossoming children from their respective educational institutions. That is my humble submission.
No, it's perfectly, sir. Let me just add on to this. We have our International Council of Educators, through which we organize various training programs. Why we have not yet started with NEP is because we want every state to implement that. The state should take the initiative. right? Because there are so many things which are involved into this. And I think already as declared by our founder, sir, we are taking a step that we'll be publishing soon the exercise book on NEP. So wherein I think that book itself will be a guideline to all the educators in India. And yes, we will do so. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much for being here for last 2.5 hours. And indeed, we had a successful this. So shall we have our cameras on? So Ermina and Nada, please take a good pic. Inga, Sudhakar sir, Ramya,
I
Ashwini
want
ma'am.
everyone to switch on the cameras for a nice picture, Snigdha ma'am. Memory.
Yeah. I told them. Yes. Let our IIU logo be here down because I am logging in from the 2 devices. Quick pic. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good day.
you
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank
Happy
you,
Ganesh
everyone.
Good
Chaturthi to
evening
all.
and stay healthy.
Yes. Thank
Wish
you.
you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Wonderful.
To you too.